Hello everyone, we're going to be making a spicy ham. So first things first, I've got to fill up this with water. Not fill it up, we're going to do about 4 quarts. Alright, so that is 4 quarts of water. We're then going to take to our pot boil the brine in. So what we got to do is we got this in now. We're going to turn this on. I want to bring this up to a boil. As you can see right here, I already have our brine mix mostly put together. I got 2 cups of kosher salt. I have 2 cups of brown sugar. 1.5 tablespoons of pink curing salt, Prague number 1. I'm sorry, Prague powder number 1. And then I have a little bit over a tablespoon of pickling spice. What we are going to be adding to this, guys, is some of this right here. The End Flatline from Pepper Palace. This is the seasoning. This is the hot sauce. I'm going to be putting a little bit of the hot sauce into the brine. And I'm going to be putting some of the seasoning into the brine. So we're going to let that water come up to a boil and we'll be back. Alright guys, I'm bringing you back here. We are getting really close. We're coming up to a little bit of a light simmer right now. You can actually hear the water getting ready to boil. I'm going to move you back a little bit here. You see all the little tiny bubbles coming up. Yeah, ready to turn into a big boil here. Now I have seen some people that say to put this all in and then bring it up to a boil. I guess you could do it either way. I like to bring the water up to a boil first. Get that temperature up, because once you put this in, you're going to drop that temperature a little bit. And then you got to bring it back up, but that's also going to start to instantly dissolve some of the salt and sugar, and really start to pull that flavor out of that pickling spice. Don't forget though, we are still going to add some serious killer spice to it. Now, for those that don't know, Flatline, the hot sauce, this is Carolina Reaper as the base of the company, Pepper Palace. Puts a 7 million Scoville rated capsaicin extract into it. And then there's ghost pepper, 7-pot, chocolate dogla, and the scorpion pepper in here as well. So this hot sauce is no joke. You can see plenty of YouTube videos of people trying it. And you know what? They'll agree with you. They'll agree with me that it is no joke. So we are up at a bit of a boil here. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our flavor. And we want to get all of this. especially that curing salt. Now, with the curing salt, you got to be careful. You don't want to consume it by itself. Do not mistake it for a regular salt. Now we're going to give this a nice little stir. Help get all that salt and sugar dissolved. Now, the seasoning, the Flatline seasoning. How much am I going to put in? About that much. I didn't measure. I don't typically measure. The base of the brine I did measure, and I will put the measurements in the description below. But I don't typically measure because I don't like to. I like to cook off instinct. Okay, so when we open this, we got that little rubber stopper in there. You got to be really careful with this though, because you get this stuff on your skin and you will be hurting. Especially if you don't realize you got it on your skin. Yeah, you go to the bathroom, you rub your eyes. This sauce is very, very thick. And we're just going to do a drop. Maybe one more drop. Alright, 2 drops. Now, I usually tell people at work that 1 or 2 drops in 5 quarts of sauce, and you're going to know what's there. I put 2 drops. This is 4 quarts. I am going to be adding some ice to cool this down. So it's probably going to be another about 2 to 3 quarts of ice that will be going into this. That's going to dilute this down a little bit, and it's also going to cool it down really quick. So we're going to let this go for, I'm going to turn this down to a simmer now. We don't need to boil the heck out of this now. But we're going to let this go for a little while. Let all these flavors extract and marry. Whew. Can definitely smell the flatline in that. So we'll be back in a few minutes and I'll show you how we're going to cool this down, and then we're going to prep the boneless pork butt. Alright? Hello. Welcome back. So this has been simmering away for about 15 minutes. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and turn this burner off. And I've already weighed out my pork butt. So now what we're going to do is take our brine and dump that right in. I got a plastic bag in here, a plastic brining bag in my container. I'm doing that for 2 reasons. 1, much easier for cleanup, and number 2, since I'm doing this spicy, I don't want the plastic to possibly absorb the capsaicin and then make everything I do in this container spicy. Now I'm going to go grab some ice. right from my ice maker here. So this is probably about 2 quarts of ice. We're just going to dump that right in there. And give this a good mix. Some of that spice went up my nose. So all of that ice has melted, and I know that this is not going to be cool enough to put the pork butt in. So I used up all the ice. Hold on, a couple pieces got away in my freezer. So now I gotta let this sit, let this cool down, and when it does, we're gonna add the pork butt to the brine, and then that is going to go in the refrigerator for 7 days. Now I did weigh out my boneless pork butt. My boneless pork butt weighed in at just a little over 7 pounds. There's a mix of information out there. There's some people that say 1 day for every 2 pounds. I've seen 1 day per kilo. I'm sorry, 2 days per kilo. I've seen 1 day per pound. I'm going to do a day per pound. I want this flavor to absorb into this pork butt. And then when that happens, I take it out after the week. I stick it in my refrigerator on a cooling rack. And then, man, this spice is really hitting me. From then, I take it, I put it on my smoker, and I smoke it to about 150 degrees. Once I do that, I pull it off, I let it sit and rest. We have ham. So traditionally, ham is normally done with the shank end of the pig, for the pig leg, the shank end. That's where you get that nice bone-in ham that's rounded. You get your spiral cut hams. Those are usually the shank end. Boneless pork butts or even bone-in pork butts tend to be a little less expensive sometimes. I got this at Costco. It was a 2-pack of them. So look for another video on making a regular ham coming up. I do need to get some more brine bags. But that will be soon. Alright guys, welcome back. I've got the brine here. It's cooled down to about room temp. And now I'm going to take this pork butt and drop this into there. Push that all the way down. Make sure I wash my hands. I'm going to take a bowl, add the bowl into there to kind of keep this pushed down. All that washing my hands just to get them wet again with one more quick rinse. Seal this guy up. So I'm going to seal that up, and then I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, and in a week I'll be throwing it on my smoker. See you in 7 days.